Get a Financial Life by Beth Kobliner. Picture yourself at 30. Career's going well, great friends, loving life, but there's this nagging shadow following you around. A $5,000 credit card balance. Not terrible, right? You're making those minimum payments every month, just like the bank wants. Here's the crazy part. If you only make minimum payments, you won't be free of that debt until you're 52 years old. 22 years of payments. And by then, you'll have paid over $10,000 for a $5,000 debt. That one shocking fact is exactly why we need to talk. It reveals a secret world that too many people discover way too late. The world of personal finance. A world packed with confusing jargon, intimidating numbers, and the constant feeling that you're playing catch-up. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. There's a straightforward, powerful guide that hands you the keys to this world before you even hit your prime. A book that's sold over 500,000 copies, not because it promises overnight riches, but because it offers something far more valuable, a roadmap to financial peace. Today we're diving into a modern classic, Get a Financial Life, Personal Finance in Your 20s and 30s, by the brilliant Beth Kobliner. For countless young people, this book has been a genuine lifeline. Kobliner isn't some Wall Street insider talking down from on high. She's a journalist who President Obama personally chose to help improve financial literacy among young Americans. She has this rare gift for cutting through all the noise and getting straight to what matters. By the time we're done, you'll have a complete, step-by-step blueprint for building a rock-solid financial foundation. You'll understand the handful of critical moves that separate a life of constant financial stress from one of financial freedom. And here's the best part. It's not about being a math whiz or pulling in a six-figure salary. It's about grasping a few simple principles and, most importantly, starting right now. That's the promise of this book, and we're going to unpack it together. If there's one secret at the heart of this entire book, it's not some complicated investment strategy or clever budgeting hack. It's something you already have in abundance, something billionaires would pay anything to get more of. It's time. Let me show you what I mean. Say you start saving for retirement at 25. You set aside just $1,000 a year, about $19 a week. You keep this up until you're 65. Over 40 years, you've invested a total of $40,000. By retirement, that money will have grown into over $213,000. Now imagine your friend who waits. They start at 35, a little later in life. They also save $1,000 yearly for 30 years, investing $30,000 total. What do they have at 65? Just over $101,000. Think about that for a second. By starting just 10 years earlier, you end up with more than double the money, even though you only invested $10,000 more. This isn't magic. It's a mathematical force of nature called compounding. It's the engine that powers your entire financial life, and it runs on one fuel, time. Every day you wait, you're giving up your most powerful advantage. Everything from this point forward is about getting that engine started as soon as humanly possible. So where do we begin? Before you can build a skyscraper, you need a blueprint. You need to understand the ground you're building on. In finance, that means figuring out where you are right now and where you want to go. Kobliner suggests an exercise that might sound a bit old school, but it's incredibly powerful. For just 1 month, keep a spending diary. This isn't about beating yourself up or feeling guilty about that morning coffee. It's about awareness. You become a detective in your own life, simply observing where your money actually goes. Every pack of gum, every online purchase, every late-night snack, you just write it down. After a month, you'll have a crystal clear picture of your financial habits. Then you can sit down and create a simple map, what the book calls a budget, but I prefer to think of it as a spending plan. It's not a cage. It's a tool for aligning your spending with what you actually care about. You look at what's coming in, you look at what's going out. Then you ask yourself simple questions. Are you spending as much on clothes as on rent? Could you cook at home a few more nights a week? The goal isn't to strip away everything that brings you joy. It's to make conscious choices. To guide these choices, the book gives us 3 simple, powerful rules of thumb. Think of them as guardrails on your financial highway. First, the debt rule. Your total debt payments, not including your mortgage, should be less than 20% of your monthly take-home pay. If you're sending more than a fifth of your money to lenders, that's a warning sign that the debt is starting to control you instead of the other way around. Second, the housing rule. Try to spend no more than 30% of your take-home pay on rent or mortgage. Now, this can be tough in big cities, but it's a target worth aiming for. It ensures you have room in your life for more than just a roof over your head. And third, the savings rule. This is the big one. Aim to save at least 15% of your take-home pay each month. Treat your savings like a bill you have to pay. It's a non-negotiable payment to your future self. These rules give you a framework. But for most young people, there's a huge obstacle standing in the way of that 15% savings goal, a dragon-breathing fire in the form of interest payments. And that dragon's name is debt. The single most powerful investment you can make, especially when you're starting out, isn't in the stock market. It's paying off your high-interest debt. Here's why. If you have a credit card charging you 15% interest, paying it off is mathematically the same as earning a guaranteed, tax-free 15% return on an investment. You won't find that deal anywhere else on earth. It's a financial cheat code. So how do we slay this dragon? The book gives us a clear battle plan, starting with the most dangerous kind of debt, credit cards. The first thing to understand is a mindset shift. Using a credit card is taking out a loan. Every time you swipe for something you can't pay for in cash by month's end, you're borrowing money. Once you see it this way, your relationship with plastic changes forever. A common myth the book quickly busts is the idea that you need to carry a balance month to month to build good credit. This is completely false. You can build stellar credit by using your card and paying the bill in full every single month without ever paying a penny in interest. But what if you already have credit card debt? The strategy is simple. Get the interest rate as low as possible. Step 1 is almost laughably easy. Just call your credit card company and ask for a lower rate. Seriously, this often works. Tell them you've been a good customer and you've seen offers for lower rates elsewhere. They want to keep your business. Step 2 is to look for a balance transfer card. These cards offer very low, sometimes even 0%, introductory interest rates for a period of time, like a year. You can move your high-interest debt over to this new card and attack the principal without interest fighting against you. But there's a trap here, and the book illustrates it with the story of Rebecca, a, quote, credit card surfer. Rebecca was smart. She was always moving her debt to a new card with a 0% teaser rate. But one day she transferred her balance and then started making new purchases on that same card. When the bill came, she was shocked. The balance she transferred had 0% interest, but all her new purchases were being charged a sky-high 18.9%. She hadn't read the fine print. The lesson is clear. Teaser rates can be a powerful tool, but you have to know the rules of the game. After credit cards, the next big beast for many is student loans. This can feel like a mountain, especially on an entry-level salary. The first thing to know is the difference between federal loans and private loans. Federal loans, the kind most people get through the government, are your friends. They tend to have lower fixed interest rates and, most importantly, they offer flexible repayment plans. Private loans from banks are usually more expensive and less forgiving. Here's where a brilliant strategy comes in. Say you have 15% credit card debt and a 4% federal student loan. The math is clear. The credit card debt is the emergency. So you call your federal student loan servicer and ask to switch to a repayment plan that lowers your monthly payment, like a graduated or income-driven plan. This frees up extra cash each month, but, and this is critical, you don't spend that cash. You turn around and fire it like a cannon at your high-interest credit card debt. Once the credit card is paid off, you switch your student loan payment back to the standard, higher amount to pay it off faster. It's a brilliant way to use the flexibility of low-interest debt to conquer high-interest debt. Finally, a quick word on car loans. The rule here is simple. Arrange your financing before you ever set foot in a dealership. A car salesperson is trained to focus on the monthly payment, not the total price. They can stretch out a loan for years to make the monthly number look good, while you end up paying thousands more in interest. Get pre-approved for a loan from your own bank or credit union first. That way, you walk into the dealership with a blank check, and you're negotiating on price, not financing. You're in control. Once the debt dragon is wounded and you've freed up your cash flow, it's time to build your fortress. A fortress that can withstand life's unexpected storms. The first wall of that fortress is your emergency cushion. This is a pot of money, separate from your other savings, that exists for one reason: to save you when things go wrong. A job loss, a medical emergency, a sudden car repair. The goal is to have 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses tucked away. This isn't just a financial strategy, it's a psychological one. It's the difference between a setback being a catastrophe and it being just an inconvenience. It's the money that lets you sleep at night. But how do you build this fund when it feels like you can barely save anything? The answer, according to the book, is the single most effective saving strategy ever invented: automation. As Kobliner puts it, the only system that definitely works is one that doesn't require you to think about it. You make saving automatic. You can go to your company's payroll office and ask them to send a small portion of every paycheck, say $50, directly to a separate savings account before you even see it. Or you can set up an automatic transfer from checking to savings the day after you get paid. This is the principle of paying yourself first, and it's brilliant because it bypasses your greatest enemy, willpower. You don't miss the money you never see. Before you know it, you'll have a growing cushion, built effortlessly in the background of your life. Where should you keep this money? In a simple, safe place. A high-yield savings account at a bank, especially an online bank, which tends to pay better interest, or something called a money market fund. We're not trying to get rich with this money. We're prioritizing safety and easy access. Now, with your debts being managed and your emergency fortress under construction, you're ready to move from defense to offense. You're ready to start growing your money. You're ready to start investing. I know that word investing can be terrifying. It conjures images of flashing stock tickers, confusing charts, and the risk of losing everything. The book has a clear message for you. Forget all of that. For a new investor, the world of investing can be incredibly simple. Instead of trying to pick individual winning stocks, a game that even most professionals lose, you're going to buy the entire haystack, not search for the needle. You do this by investing in something called a fund. A fund is simply a big basket that holds hundreds or even thousands of different investments. This gives you instant diversification, which is just a fancy way of saying you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. There are 3 basic types of funds to know, like ingredients in a kitchen. Money market funds, which are like cash, very safe, but they don't grow much. Bond funds, where you're essentially loaning money to governments or companies. They're safer than stocks, but offer more growth than cash. And stock funds, where you own tiny pieces of many different companies. This is where the real long-term growth happens, but it comes with more ups and downs. Now here's the most important investing lesson in the entire book. Within the world of stock funds, there are 2 main philosophies. One is called active management. This is where a supposed genius fund manager actively tries to pick the best stocks to beat the market. These funds charge high fees for this expertise. The other philosophy is called passive management, and its most popular form is the index fund. An index fund doesn't try to be clever. It simply buys every stock in a major market index, like the S&P 500. It aims to match the market, not beat it. And because a computer is essentially running the show, the fees are incredibly low. Imagine 2 chefs. One is a celebrity chef who claims he can pick the absolute best, most exotic ingredients every single day to create a gourmet meal. He charges a fortune. The other chef simply goes to the market, buys one of everything, and mixes it all together. Here's the secret the financial industry doesn't want you to know. Decades of research has shown that, over the long run, the simple, low-cost market mix almost always beats the fancy, expensive celebrity chef, especially after you subtract his high fees. That's the power of index funds. You get the growth of the entire market without paying a premium for performance that rarely shows up. The book strongly recommends sticking to low-cost index funds from companies like Vanguard or Charles Schwab. So what should your mix of these funds be? A good starting point is a simple rule of thumb. Take 100 and subtract your age. That's the percentage of your investment money that could go into stock funds. The rest can go into safer bond funds. So if you're 20, that would be 80% stocks, 20% bonds. This isn't a rigid rule, but it's a sensible starting point that reflects your long time horizon. You now have a plan for debt and a plan for investing. But where do you actually do this investing to get the biggest boost? The answer lies in accounts that come with a superpower: tax advantages. This is where you build true, life-changing wealth. This is the world of retirement accounts. Let's go back to that compounding example from the beginning. The reason that money grew so dramatically wasn't just because of market returns, but because it was growing in a special account shielded from the yearly drag of taxes. This tax-advantaged growth is like putting a supercharger on your investment engine. There are two main types of accounts you need to know: the 401k and the IRA. A 401k is a retirement plan offered by an employer. An IRA, or individual retirement account, is one you open on your own. Both come in two main flavors: traditional and Roth. The difference is simple. When do you want to pay your taxes? With a traditional account, you get a tax break today. The money you contribute is pre-tax, meaning you don't pay income tax on it now. It lowers your taxable income for the year. The money grows tax-deferred, and you pay taxes on it when you withdraw it in retirement. With a Roth account, there's no tax break today. You contribute after-tax money. But here's the magic. Once the money is in there, it grows completely, 100% tax-free. When you take it out in retirement, you owe nothing to the government. Not on your contributions, and not on all the growth it generated over the decades. So which is better? For most young people who are likely in a lower tax bracket now than they will be later in their careers, the Roth is often the winning choice. You pay the taxes now, while your rate is low, and let all the future growth be yours to keep, free and clear. Now, among all these options, there's one deal that's so good, so unbelievably generous, that it should be your absolute number one financial priority. It's the closest thing to free money you'll ever see. It's the employer match in a 401k. Many companies will match your contributions up to a certain percentage of your salary. A common match is 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, up to 6% of your pay. Think about what that means. You put in $1, your company puts in 50 cents. That's an immediate, guaranteed 50% return on your money. You cannot beat this anywhere. Before you pay off extra on your student loans, before you open an IRA, before you do anything else, you must contribute enough to your 401k to get the full employer match. Not doing so is like leaving part of your salary on the table. So the book gives us a simple, prioritized ladder for your retirement savings. Step 1. Contribute to your 401k just enough to get the full employer match. Not a penny more, not a penny less. This is your top priority. Step 2. Once you've secured the match, open a Roth IRA on your own and contribute as much as you can, up to the annual limit. This gives you investment flexibility and that beautiful tax-free growth. Step 3. If you've maxed out your Roth IRA for the year and still have money to save, now you go back to your 401k and contribute more there, until you hit its much higher annual limit. Follow this simple 1-2-3 plan. Automate your contributions, and you'll wake up one day in your 30s or 40s with a nest egg that will astound you. With your financial foundation in place, you can now start to think about some of life's bigger milestones, like buying a home. The book offers a crucial perspective here. Renting is not throwing money away. Especially when you're young, renting provides flexibility. If you get a job offer in another city, you can go. If your life changes, you're not tied down. The decision to buy a home should be a lifestyle choice first and a financial one second. A great rule of thumb from the book is that if you can't see yourself staying in the same place for at least several years, you should probably keep renting. When you are ready to buy, lenders will look at the very things you've been working on: your credit score, the higher the better, your down payment savings, aim for at least 10%, ideally 20%, your income, and your debt-to-income ratio. All the good habits you've built, paying bills on time, saving automatically, keeping debt low, are what will qualify you for the best possible loan. Finally, let's talk about the invisible shield that protects everything you've built: insurance. The purpose of insurance isn't to make you rich. It's to prevent you from being wiped out. You're transferring the risk of a financial catastrophe to an insurance company for a small fee. The key is to insure against the big things and not sweat the small stuff. The book outlines the absolute must-haves. First, health insurance. This is non-negotiable. A single medical emergency can lead to financial ruin. As the book states, you need it, period. Second, renter's insurance. If you rent, this is one of the best bargains in the financial world. For the price of a few coffees a month, it protects all of your belongings from theft or fire. Third, auto insurance if you own a car. It's required by law for a reason. And fourth, the one most young people overlook: disability insurance. This isn't insurance for if you die. It's insurance for if you get sick or injured and can't work. It protects your single greatest financial asset, your ability to earn an income for the next 40 years. It's a critical piece of the puzzle. Just as important is knowing what insurance you probably don't need. If you're single with no children or anyone else depending on your income, you likely don't need life insurance, despite what agents might tell you. The book also advises skipping things like extended warranties, flight insurance, and rental car collision coverage. These are often overpriced or covered by your existing policies or credit cards. And what about that other great certainty in life: taxes? The world of taxes can seem like an impossible labyrinth designed to confuse you. But the book's approach is, once again, to simplify. For most young people, the process is straightforward. The core idea is to reduce your taxable income using deductions and credits. A deduction is an expense you can subtract from your income, which lowers your tax bill. A credit is even better. It's a dollar-for-dollar reduction of the tax you actually owe. The key tax breaks to know are the ones we've already discussed. Your contributions to a traditional 401k or IRA are a huge deduction. The interest you pay on your student loans can be another deduction. And if your income is low, you might qualify for the wonderful Savers Credit, where the government literally gives you money back just for saving in a retirement account. The best advice the book gives on taxes? Don't panic, and don't do it by hand. Use modern tax software. Sites like TurboTax or the IRS's own free file program will ask you simple questions in plain English and fill out all the complicated forms for you. They ensure you get every deduction and credit you're entitled to. And that, in essence, is the journey. It starts with the powerful realization that time is on your side. It moves to the simple act of observing where your money goes. From there, you build a plan to conquer debt, to build a safety net, and to start investing for the long term using simple, low-cost index funds inside powerful retirement accounts. You protect it all with the right insurance. And you make peace with taxes by letting technology handle the hard part. It's a life of finance, yes, but more than that, it's a financial life. A life where money isn't a source of anxiety, but a tool to help you achieve your real goals. As we step back and look at the beautiful, simple architecture of Beth Kobliner's work, what stands out most is not what's in the book, but what's left out. There's no jargon-filled discussion of complex derivatives, no advice on day trading, no tips for flipping houses. It's a book defined by quiet confidence in the fundamentals. Its central philosophy, if you boil it all down, is that financial success isn't a product of brilliance, but of discipline. And more than that, it's the understanding that human beings aren't wired for long-term financial discipline. We're creatures of instant gratification. Our brains crave the reward now, not in 40 years. And so, the most profound lesson woven throughout these pages is the power of building systems that save us from ourselves. Automate your savings so you don't have to decide to save every month. Invest in index funds so you don't have to decide which stocks to pick. Enroll in your 401k so the money is taken out before you can ever touch it. It's a system of creating gentle, positive defaults in your life that guide you toward wealth, almost without you noticing. What makes Get a Financial Life so enduring is its profound respect for the reader. It doesn't assume you have a trust fund or a finance degree. It assumes you're a busy, intelligent person who wants clear, actionable advice that works in the real world. It empowers you by showing you that the entire universe of personal finance can be mastered by understanding just a handful of key concepts. The magic of compounding, the tyranny of high-interest debt, the wisdom of diversification, the gift of tax-advantaged accounts, and the necessity of a safety net. So how can you put this into practice today? Not next year, not when you get a raise, but right now. I'd suggest 3 simple actions. First, your mission for this week: set up one automatic transfer. Log into your bank account and schedule a recurring transfer from your checking to your savings account for the day after your next paycheck. It doesn't matter if it's $100 or just 10. The goal isn't the amount. The goal is to set the system in motion, to feel the quiet power of an automated good decision. Second, your mission for this month: conduct the 1-month spending diary experiment. For just 30 days, track where your money goes. Don't judge, don't restrict. Just observe. At the end of the month, look at the results with curiosity. That awareness is the first step toward real change. And third, if you have a job, log into your company's HR website or call them tomorrow. Ask one question: do we have a 401k plan? And does the company offer a match? If the answer is yes, sign up immediately to contribute just enough to get the full match. This single action is the most profitable financial move a young person can make, and it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you over your lifetime. Getting a financial life isn't a destination you suddenly arrive at. It's a journey you begin. It's not about becoming rich overnight. It's about building a foundation of peace and security, brick by brick, so that you have the freedom to build whatever life you dream of. The tools are in this book. The time is now, and your future self is counting on you. That was a summary of Get a Financial Life by Beth Kobliner. We've certainly hit the highlights today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only take you so far. The real magic happens when you hold the book in your hands and read it for yourself. It's in the quiet moments, when a particular story or a simple turn of phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to give you a compass, to help you decide if this book is a journey worth taking. If anything we've discussed today has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning. It's an experience that can genuinely change your relationship with money, and in doing so, change your life. You can find a link to the book in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable and it brought you a step closer to your own financial clarity, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It lets us know we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book from the Billionaire's Bookshelf. Let's keep growing together.